You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
The views expressed by the individuals during this broadcast are their own opinions, and they may not be the same as those of their group or other organizations they may be involved with.
All medical advice during our broadcast is not a medical opinion and should be checked with your medical physician.
Good evening and welcome to Pace Radio Show. We are live here at paceradio.net and probably a bunch of different places. How you doing, Tamara?
I'm okay. How are you doing, Al?
Oh, not too bad. I'm healing from being at the dentist today.
Yeah, you said you had to get a tooth worked on. It broke.
Yeah, and it's the one furthest in your mouth at the furthest spot, and when you open your mouth, it's in the sort of the narrowest spot because there's only so far you can open your mouth, right? And yeah. So it's a little frozen. Not bad.
I lost those teeth a while ago. I literally got left and one molar back here, and that's it. And to get everything redone, I can't get bone grafting because of the methotrexate. So I got low bone density, so they can't take it off my hip. And it's a nice $50,000 to have my teeth fixed.
Yeah.
So well, it's either 50,000 or 5,000 for dentures. So we'll just hang on to what I got for now.
Yeah, I know some people that have had their teeth removed and put all dentures in, and they weren't old.
No.
It was a young. The one I'm thinking of was a younger person and just drank a lot of.
Apparently dental is super cheap in Mexico, but that would entail having money to go to Mexico. And then
that's the thing, right? You got to get there first.
Right? And stay there for 14 to 24 days. I can't, I don't have money for a free lunch right now. So there'll be no Mexico.
No, Mexico. No. So let's see. Today I've got 1, 2, 3, probably 4 or 5 things to discuss, different parts of it throughout the show tonight. It could be anything from 21st anniversaries to talking hashish.
I've seen that interesting little item you had.
Yes. We'll get into that. But first, I wanted to start off with something that I believe that you're doing, and this has to do with I'm not sure exactly because I haven't read it all. And you're doing something to do with some women's strike or something like that. Now, I'm not sure what all it's about. I look at it as it sounds like something along the lines of something to do with women's rights or.
Absolutely, yeah. So what women's strike is it on June the 24th, it's the second anniversary of Roe versus Wade being overturned in the United States. So with that being said, in solidarity with our sisters in the United States, because of what's been kind of murmuring across the provinces in our country about conservative governments defunding women's health care, it might not be an abortion ban per se, but with defunding going on in New Brunswick and in Nova Scotia and in Alberta, we're concerned. And the fact
that on the Canadian side of things.
Right. So a group of women, not myself, I saw that I reached out and asked if we could do one in Cranbrook, and they said absolutely. And it's a national group of women from coast to coast to coast, and it's womenstrike2024.ca. And we also have an event page here in town. It's Cranbrook Women's Strike 2024. And if you can't make the events because it's at noon on a Monday, and we understand that it's a work day, but that's the point of this. It's a women's strike. So if you can't make an event, we ask you to either wear red to work, don't do your household chores, don't shop or buy anything on that Monday, and just stand in solidarity with your sisters. And we, also ask you to write your MPs and ask them if they want to prevent abortion, why are they making it so difficult for women to get free contraceptives. Now, I
Yes.
found out from a doctor friend of mine that in British Columbia, the BC province has been providing free birth control to British Columbians for the last year. And you don't even need a prescription. You can actually go to your pharmacy in British Columbia and get birth control from the pharmacist without a prescription in British Columbia. I'm not sure what it's like in any other province, but I was talking to my friend that's a doctor here in town, and she said it's redundant for that federal program for British Columbians because that being said, there's no income level for that birth control in British Columbia. You don't have to be a
So
low income woman. You don't have to be, there's no income level. So any woman in British Columbia has access to free birth control from a pharmacist.
There you go. Yeah, that is a woman's right. It's a woman's right to choose what she wants to do with her own body. The reason I brought up that as far as the women's rights end of things, and I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, 21st anniversary. Not all anniversaries are cheerful. And that is because of a passing of my friend.
I saw that too as well. Oh, I'm sorry. And I understand because domestic violence is another reason that we're standing, as well as non-binary and gender equality too. That's also included in this women's strike. I'm also a survivor of domestic violence, so I totally understand.
Yeah. There's a picture of her, Marge. Had known her for a very long time up to then. I spent time hanging around with her brothers, and I sort of got to know her a little bit that way, but not a whole lot until I'm going to say, early 20s, late teens, somewhere in there. I can't remember the exact. And that's when I really got to know her. And mother of two girls, and got out of an abusive relationship. She had fought for a restraining order. It was never issued. She had broken away from that relationship, probably close to 2 years or whatever. Started seeing, maybe it was a year, started seeing another fella, and things were going good. I hadn't spoken to her in a few years, and this is the second part of the 21st anniversary. It's 21 years ago that I was sick when my first flare up in my Crohn's, and I would spend a lot of time messaging with Marge and trying to figure out what was going on with me. And then I ended up in the hospital. And while I was in the hospital was when she passed. So I didn't get a chance to attend a funeral or anything along that line. We did reach out to her when I was hospitalized, but we don't know whether she ever got the message or not. And domestic violence. They list her as being married to this man, but she was not. She was not.
Common law, right? Yeah.
Common law.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
well, honestly, Al, 21 years later, not a lot has changed.
Yeah, I know.
Unfortunately.
I've still got the newspapers. I was like I said, I was hospitalized for my first Crohn's flare up, and I had my mother bringing me in the paper every day. That particular day, it arrived late after I received a phone call informing me that my friend was on the front page of the Toronto newspaper. So yeah, beginning of June's never good. My Crohn's was when it hit me, and well as the murder of my friend, and if I ever want to, I don't look into finding out what happened to the children or whatever. I know where the children went. I know where the children were well looked after. So, but they're all older now. Obviously, it's 21 years ago, right, that this happened.
Right.
And they were not only were we friends, but so were our children, right? So lot of explaining and things goes on there, and it was it's never good. So and
No.
with my Crohn's, it was one of those things where nobody knew what was exactly going on until they did some exploratory look and saw something for sure, right, to confirm things. But up until then, they're just throwing whatever they could find, throwing pills at me left and right for months,
Right.
right? So then the Crohn's, once they diagnosed it, once they saw it, that's the thing. Once they saw it,
Right.
and yeah. So both things are life changing. Crohn's obviously big time in everything that I did. But you try to make the best out of the worst, right?
Yeah. Yep. I feel I wasn't. It hasn't been. But I remember my colonoscopy when I got my diagnosis, and I was being wheeled out of the whatever room that the OR or whatever, and doctor goes, "Oh yeah, your colon's so clean, it's shiny." He says, "Definitely, there's some lymphatic colitis there. You got diarrhea all the time, don't you?" Because the inside of my colon was so clear, like just shiny,
just
shiny.
flying by.
Like there was no polyps or nothing. It was just clear shine,
Wow.
like just like nothing. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they did the biopsy, that's where they came up with the diagnosis. But yeah, he goes, yeah, it was remarkable how shiny your colon is. I go, isn't that great? He goes, you must have you must have did some pretty good prep. I go, I didn't do any prep.
Yeah.
He goes, what? I said, I took the pictosilus, but I says, but after that, I couldn't do the enema. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I couldn't stick in. There's no way. I was like, no. So yeah, like, but he figured that I just, did a real good cleanse, and I was like, no, man, that's what it's like all the time.
Yeah. Well, it's
but
some people don't like.
You live with it too, right? Like you understand as well as I understand what you go through, because it comes in flares too. Like we don't look like we're sick, right? We can go about life. We can do pretty much, have some quality of life if we're not. But when we're in flare, there's just no explaining it, right?
Correct.
We're one of those ones that don't look like we're sick, even though we're sick, right?
Well, that's the thing. That people look at you. Well, you don't look like you're sick. Well, do I look like the 185-pound guy that I was 20 plus years ago?
Right.
No.
Right.
I know.
Right.
But like I said, you can turn things like that from a bad thing into a good thing with the Crohn's and stuff. And that was the fact that without it, there wouldn't be any pace. There wouldn't be any podcasting. Who knows what I'd be doing now?
Right.
Yeah,
well,
who knows? Getting me to retire. Or already. Yeah, because like when I left work, I was with the same company for 22 years. So like I wasn't going anywhere. Here we are now, 21 years, 43 years later. Right. So yeah. And I have talked to people who were still with the company from when I left. And things changes there too, right?
And they're still there though too, right? So that tells you.
Yeah. And but the company just recently sold. It was a family-owned business.
Oh, yeah, you were saying that, yeah.
Yeah, I can remember them. I can remember the now president or a former president now, because they sold the company. He's still on the board of the new company. Coming into the factory and saying, "Hey, we sold $1 million worth of transformers." That was in 1982, 83, I'm going to say. Yeah, it was when that was. And then we moved in 84 to a new factory in a different town, closer to home. It was a little shorter drive for us.
Right.
But when they just sold. And they had four locations. They went from the one little building when I started that was 30 by 50 square foot building, and now they had a factory on the East Coast, one on the West Coast, one in the Midwest, and then one here, a big setup here in Ontario.
That's really nice to hear, a small family business that was able to do that, right? Because
Yeah.
like we were kind of like talking about this like with my mom too with the house and stuff, and the fact that it's not her prime residence, and if we buy it, then capital gains and all this new stuff, right? But mom said they always knew that when you sell your secondary property that's not your residence, there you always paid capital gains. This isn't a new thing. They've upped the percentage, but there's always capital gains to pay,
Right.
right? So
Right.
they already knew that, right? So a lot of people are up in arms about something that was already
Yeah.
there, right? But yeah, the whole like selling and of properties and stuff is, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So, yeah, who knows where things would be now? But those, like I said, turn bad into good, and become a cannabis advocate, became a writer, became a podcaster. I hated speaking in front of people. And
now let's go.
now, right? Did 420 marches, then events, all that
Right?
stuff.
Like, I agree. Like, I mean, I was a hairdresser. Like, I've been a hairdresser my whole life, and I've
Mm,
been, numerous different jobs. But because of my attention deficit being unmedicated and undiagnosed for so years, I floundered and I bounced. But when I
mm,
hit on to cannabis in 2007, that'll be the only thing I hung on to. Like
yeah.
besides my children and having to be a parent and things you have to do because you have to, not because you want to. But cannabis kind of clung to me too, and I think it's a calling. Like
Mm,
once you you're using it for medicinal and you see the benefits that it's given you and how it's changed your life for the better, and you feel you have to spread that word, kind of like it's almost like
yeah.
seeing God. I guess it's like for some people, I don't know if that sounds silly or not, but for some people, it's religion or whatever. For me it was law reform and cannabis and the community that we had, like going to TY and meeting up with all my friends that I'd
Yeah.
met online, and meeting people face to face, and then keeping those connections. Like, I haven't seen Debbie Stoltz Giffen in person probably now in almost 8 years. It's been since Mum Cup in Vancouver, but I talk to her at least as often as I can, like once a week. We try to get a phone call in
Right.
once a week, but we will, sometimes it's 2 weeks, sometimes like, holy shit, I forgot to talk that, and like, and we'll call each other, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing, we're spread across the
Right.
country.
But she's in
Yeah.
Nova Scotia. I'm in British Columbia. There might be a possibility that I'll never see her face to face again in my life, but I
Oh,
know
just
she's
this
my
way.
friend. And I
This
can
is
pick
a
up a phone at any given time.
yeah.
Same with you. Like, like I haven't seen you in 10 years face to face either, more or less, right?
Oh
Probably
yeah,
more.
like in person, correct. Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, like this. And thankfully, we have this tool that we can actually see our friends face to face, because I wouldn't see my best friends in Lethbridge either, because I don't go there
Yeah.
very often. And it's 3 hours away. I just don't have time to travel.
Well, yeah, there is that distance problem. Yeah, I know. I
Right.
understand.
And I've got dogs, and there's so many reasons why, jobs, kids, dogs, money, finance. There's so many reasons why people don't travel. Right. So this is a really good tool. Never mind for us to be able to use it for education. Right.
Well, yeah, and the thing that during COVID, these things became very, very important. Reaching out, and there's things that were learned during that phase. It's a period that a lot of people don't want to go back to, but it's also a period that I think we learned a lot of things.
I think a lot of people are quite happy with staying home for work. You know what I mean, though? Like,
That's what I
there's
read.
that group of people that really don't want to be out with people. And I think that's kind of
Mm,
scary. But in fact, a lot of people don't really like meeting people and have to force themselves too, right? So for people
yeah.
that have that issue, I think you should be able to work at home. But that's kind of made it, that's kind of been an issue for a lot of businesses trying to get people out of their houses again.
Mhm. Yeah. Just so you know, the fella who took my friend's life, um, he was sentenced to life in jail, but eligible for parole after 13 years. And he did get out.
Of course,
Yeah, he got
I
out.
think that, like I said, there's been so many things that needs to be revamped with our justice system, right? But the
Mhm.
scale, like whatever fucking fuckhead there is spewing. But we also didn't want mandatory jail sentences, which is what the conservatives had put in, because they could build private prisons, and then that makes, whatever, right? We don't want to
Profit.
see that
Business
ever
for
happen, but
profit.
we
Yeah.
really need, like, rapists get, like, when somebody grows cannabis and they get a 14-year-old jail sentence, and maximum of jail,
That
a
needs to be
rapist
changed.
gets is 7 years. Like,
Yeah,
they're
and it was even worse with the previous government because there
yeah.
was Yeah, because it was the plants. There was the mandatory minimums. You
Yeah,
got caught doing 200 plants. You were serving more time than somebody
right,
who. Yeah,
right.
yeah. I don't want to say what that. It was just nasty. That's just.
Yeah. So again, and even with, like I said, murder in Canada has always been maximum 25 years. They've never had a life sentencing. That did
Yeah.
change during the
So.
Conservative government, and I will say that was probably a good thing. But before that, prior to that, maximum jail sentencing in Canada was 25 years max. There was no life. They added to life in the
Yeah.
last, like the last government did that, which, they wanted to bring the death penalty
Mm.
back. Like, let's be honest here. Like, the Conservatives were on teetering on that line because they wanted to build all those private prisons with their mandatory
Yeah.
jail sentencing, right? So,
The in the end, he was eligible for I think it was 12 and a half years or 13 years.
right.
It says 13 years in there. I was thinking I was told 12 and a half years. But he did get released, and he went to a halfway house. Um, he didn't learn his lesson.
Mm,
Not that he murdered anybody, but the fact that when you break your parole violations, you tend to
go back to jail
go back to jail.
without passing go.
Correct. So I was asked today, and not I would say yesterday. The anniversary was actually the day she left us was yesterday, and I was asked to share her story in case it might help somebody else that's in an unpleasant situation.
There are hotlines all across the country.
Yeah.
In Alberta, there is now Clare's Law, which I was involved in too. So you can get a background check with a new boyfriend. So you can see if they haven't ever been charged with a domestic violence before, and it's all anonymous. So there's also that new law that came into effect a couple of years ago in Alberta only. There's also other laws, I believe, provincially for that too.
Right.
But it's something that should be talked about a lot. And I mean, I understand it is men's mental health
It
month
was,
this
yeah.
month too, right? So we need to point out that domestic violence and men's mental health go hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah. And um, I knew the guy. I had known him for quite a long time, actually. He lived down the street from us, so and so it was,
You knew him too, you said?
yeah.
Who was his father? What was his father like? The same as him?
Um, yeah, his father
Mm.
wasn't. Yeah, let's just say it wasn't a pleasant situation at times. So,
Yeah, it's that generational trauma. It just
yeah,
keeps.
yeah, and um, um, she tried to get him involved in the children. She actually, as I mentioned, I was talking to her, for a few months leading into before she passed, and um, she wanted me to come and spend some time with him, and that was because he had just gotten out of therapy, drug
Uh-huh.
addiction therapy.
Hmm.
So she wanted me to come and spend some time with him and talk with him.
Hmm.
So even though she was split from him, she was still trying to help him. According to the report I've read online, she tried to get him involved with his children, but they found out and they explained in court what was going on. So, and some of the stuff I find from what I have read in the papers and stuff. There's some stuff that because I still know a brother or two, right? So,
Yeah.
and there's some stuff here that I'm not even going to speak about. Um, I think just by saying that it was a domestic violence, is enough. In fact, that she was gone, that she's gone. Kids were at school across the street. He's the one who called it in. And then, of course, he ran. In the process of being ran, instead of taking blame for what he did, tried to end his own life. Didn't work. Obviously, right? So. All right, sorry everybody for a bit of a somber thing, but yeah, when you spend time with people for several years of your life, and your children grow up together, and you get together to do things and have parties and celebrate births and kids together. They've been in your life for a while, so. Well, we got 3 minutes. There is, some of the stuff, it was weird. Some of the stuff what I was looking up on their own land north of me, and seeing stuff that I had when I was looking for some information on it, and seeing that the property had been for sale on the comments that were involved in it, and saying that the owner was a resident at the penitentiary. People were saying, "You really want to buy that land?" So I don't know whatever happened to it, but I imagine the municipality would have scooped it all up for unpaid taxes and sold it.
I would think so. It depends. I would think. Yeah, unless somebody ended up paying the taxes for him, which who is going to do that, right? Unless he's got parents or something. Like, hope nobody would. I would hope that, it's too bad it couldn't have been donated to charity, or somewhere that a women's shelter couldn't have been built, or somewhere where a treatment center couldn't have been built. You know what I mean? If it was just property, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, like that. Just you honoring her today knows that she didn't die for no reason, that she didn't die in vain, that she made a huge impact on your life and your children's lives and your wife's life, enough for you to honor her 21 years later out.
Yeah.
So
I think of her all the time, and especially at this time of year.
Right. So that's awfully nice.
Yeah. And so yeah, it's it's and if anything that I've posted in the past that might have been wrong, family has reached out to me and corrected and let me know. So
right.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, there's so many stories we hear and stuff that we get shared with us, but like I say often, it's not my story to tell, right? But if somebody says it's okay to share, then I will. But I mean, a lot of times I'd rather have them on as a guest and let them share their own story than be the one to tell it, right?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, this at this point in time, there's nobody there to share it but you. So they asked you to do it, and that's good. You did great. That's great.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go for break, and when we come back from break, we're going to be on a different subject. We're going to be talking about that contraption that you saw that I posted online that you asked me about at the beginning of the broadcast.
Good. So that's a little bit PTSD for me that we were talking about, but I got this. Yeah. Exactly. That'll be better. It'll be better.
Yeah, for sure. Exactly. All right. Off we go to break. Time to pay some bills.
Get the computer running, maybe. I'll try.
Okay. We'll talk cat. We're going to talk cash when we get back. You're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net.
We are people advocating cannabis education here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor. If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
PACE Radio is the People Advocating Cannabis Education Radio Network.
Legacy 420 have an awesome array of cannabis-infused beverages, from pop to Nature's Nectar's teas, all in amazing flavors. What a selection! We even have a delicious mango-infused juice, and let me tell you, it's delicious.
Everything is infused in-house, so we buy our syrup from the same place where everybody else buys their syrup for their pop, and the infusion is done in the lab. It's all canned here, labeled here, produced 100% on Tyndonega.
We have two lines of drinks. One is called our Nature's Nectar. That was our original line that we came out with, and then we also have a line under the Red E brand. We have them in 10 milligrams, 30 milligram, and 60 milligram cans.
What a great selection for a get-together with friends or after a long day. Remember, if you want to wet your whistle with on-site lab-tested products, come see your trusted partner. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Hey, welcome back to the Pace Radio Show, live, paceradio.net. Well, how'd you make out? Did you get your computer fixed? You're still using your phone?
Oh, I'm still on my phone. I mean, it's up, but it's running really slow, and it's a Mac, right? So it's not, and it's showing that there's lots of hard drive, but it's been had this thing for 5 years, right?
Right, yeah, it's getting old in computer life.
For sure. I mean, I'm surprised it's lasted this long.
I got a 5-year-old one sitting here in front of me right now.
Like, seriously, like, I mean, we bought this like a long time ago. Like I said, I'm really seriously surprised it's lasted this long, because I used to go through a laptop every 6 months. Like, boom, yeah. Like it would be just done, right? So yeah, it's funny that it's lasted, but hey, it slowed down a lot. And that's, I think, what the problem was the last couple of weeks we've been having too. It's just lagging.
So everybody, we're gonna talk cash when we get back. I had this thing to show everybody. Okay, and when I showed it online, boy, it got a lot of response, and
that's pretty cool.
You would expect it, because So yeah, this is this device here that I had online. You can see it right there. It it looks like
a teapot.
Yeah, I guess it does, eh?
Yeah,
it looks like you could say it looks like an apple, though, I guess.
Yeah, apple teapot.
So yeah, basically what you do is, I'm going to show you, is you take your hash, okay, and you see in the picture, and you stick it to the top. You just stick it there. It just sticks there. It's all that.
Right.
And then you light it.
Right.
And you stick it in the glass jar with it lit. Okay, and then this is what you end up with.
Oh yeah. That's adorable.
Yeah. So I got some other pictures of it here. So there's the hash, and then you can see here it's called.
Did you have to pull on it, or it just did that all by itself?
No, it just did that all by
Oh,
itself.
interesting.
You can see right there. You can see the hash, the little worm of hash, and then just stick it on the end there, and you put it inside the apple. There's the apple, right? You can see it there. You can see the hash and smoke, right? And there it is.
Where the heck did you get that contraption from?
That's from I'll just take that off the screen. That is these are, you can get them made by different, like buy them like
any
manufactured, mass manufactured.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But this one here, this apple by Nugs, they're hand blown. Each one is hand blown by a fellow I know him as Dave, but Dave, I'm gonna pronounce his last name wrong. I just know that. Dave Rowe-Paris. I just know him as Dave the glass blower man. But he makes these.
Nice.
And he does each one. They're all handmade. Every one of them hand blown. It's and he was at a local cannabis store. He was like doing a pop-up thing or whatever.
Right.
And so I went in to see Dave because I know him from Toronto, from doing all the different events like Karma Cups and other cannabis events. He'd be there doing glass blowing. I get a few words in with him. And so I thought, hey, gee, he's in my town. I better, I better go see him. So I went and saw him, and we had a great time. We spent a few hours in there, talking and laughing and the whole bit. Got to we went out for some quiet time and got to try one, and I just said, oh God, I got to get one of these. Yeah. And
I only took one shot at it. I have to have it, right?
Yeah. And so I went over to a friend's house, and we said, hey, I said, okay, we got to try this thing, man. We ended up. You saw that strip of hash.
Yeah, I did.
We consumed it all.
Of course not.
We had to put it out. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. It'd be like two little pokes for me, and I'd be like, I'd be sleeping on the couch. I'd be coughing my face off, running for some chips, and then I'd be down. I'd be over for a nap.
Yeah. We used to do bottled totes and all that. Sort of. It's a different way of doing the original bottle tokes, you could say, and it just burns away, right? And you just pass it. If you're in a group, small group, whatever, large group, just pass it around, and all the ash gets caught in there, so it's no mess or anything.
Right. And hash can be like, we've got this blonde hash. I think I showed it to you the other day, or one of the other shows, right? So Alvin burn some of that up, and we put it in with some cannabis, and it was like, be careful, you remember, gotta roll back, and you forget, because I haven't smoked hash for a while. You smoke it, you bang it too hard, you can end up with a cherry falling somewhere, burn something, right? And I remember when we were younger, doing knife hits and stuff, and always having burns in our pants, right? From doing hash. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
It burns everything. Yep.
Oh, I guess I got another anniversary. This one is a happy anniversary. At least according to, it's a Facebook memory that came up. I'm just gonna make sure I get the right one.
God, my hair looks like the evil witch of the West today.
Yeah, let me just open this a different way. If we can. Okay. Yeah, I'll just use that picture right there. Okay, here we come. Here you go. That's me. I said treating yourself.
And that's the one I was at, right?
Picture?
Yeah. And that's when I first met you.
There's the
So that would have
picture
been
in
this
the
would have been the anniversary of when we first met back at TY.
Yeah. Yeah. This
Yeah,
is this
that's
is
when we
dated
first met.
29.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When was this?
Yeah.
09?
Oh, somewhere around there. Yeah. That's a reposting of it that I've got there. That when I put it up there. It's probably somewhere else too. Oh,
I
this
think
is
it was.
Ash.
It would have been it would have been because Taven was born in 09, December of 09. So it would have been have to have been 2010 maybe.
Well, the TY Expo's 2010, and I received that award in 2011.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Wow. Hey, but that's when I first met you. That was that because I was out there with Alliance of Canada, right? And we had the panel. We were on the we did the panel up on the stage, and I was there with Kelly and Pop Mama and Debbie Stoltz Giffen was there too, and
well, it just seemed like everybody from the cannabis community was there. Like
that was a great
it was such a big event. Like nobody was doing that.
And that was the second year I was there because I had gone out the year before that. That's when I got my first license, right? So I'd come out that first time, right? I mean, I met you then. I think I met you then. I met you the
Well, I know I met you at the expo, and did you go to the Killing Time Band concert?
Yeah, with the skunk party with me and Deb were there.
Yeah. I think they got a picture of you guys in the booth. Yeah.
Only my hair was like way darker than it is now. I know. It's like, was that you? It's like, yeah, that's when my hair was actually not like white and like. But
color
it was,
of my
like,
t-shirt.
to be honest, it was. I was just like trying to hide it. It was coming in quite white. I had to dye my hair to look like that. It was bad. So yeah, but that was I sure was there. So that
Yeah.
But yeah, how time flies, right?
Yeah. So I had a talk with Dave when we were at the store. It was a Spirit Leaf store in Campbellford, and the fellow who owns it, Eric. He's gotten involved in things in the community within what he's allowed to,
right?
And which I'm very happy to see. That helps eliminate any stigmas, and people get to know them, and it's not as if it's cannabis, oh no, type thing, right? So,
right.
So when I was talking to Dave, I said, "Well, Dave, I got you pinned down now. So when we're gonna have you on the show, Dave?" So he's agreed. We have to set up a date.
Nice.
And we're going to do an interview, okay? But he's gonna be blowing glass at the same time.
Oh, how neat! That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be super cool.
Yeah,
that'd be super cool.
We'll be able to talk about glass blowing in general, like the industry. How is that going? Because that, like at TY Expo, all kinds.
It was a big thing, yeah.
Yeah, there was all kinds. Like I know I could go back there and find another.
Well, I know even when we were doing the first Kootenai Cannabis Cup, or I guess it was the second one, we were going to have glass blowing done in the yard here, right? But that was the year we had the fires, and the glass blowers that were going to come out, they lived on a farm in Nelson, which was quite near the fire, so they didn't want to leave their kids out there close to the fire. Never mind, here it was so dry and we had a fire ban, so I don't think we would have really gotten away with having glass blowers in the backyard. We would have had to lay gravel down in the area. It would have had to been graveled, and we were willing to do that. But then it just ended up being not a thing. But we were going to have lace glass was going to be out here, and and NARC glass were going to come out. And like I said, we were going to do this, but it never ended up being. But that was one of the best parts of all the cups, was watching the glass blowers, to be honest. Right, and seeing all their, and being able to buy them right there. You could just buy. You could get them to blow you, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Well, the thing too at the expo, they could create it and sell it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I think we were in Saskatoon, and that's what they were doing. We got pipes blown right in front of us, and we bought them right there at Jeff's Cup, the Harvest Cup.
Yeah.
In Saskatoon. Yeah.
You got a message from Eddie. Eddie says that cannabis breeds passion and homeostasis. CB2 receptors inhibits SARS2. Thanking all breeders, cultivators, lovers of the master plant. Peace and love, he says.
Well, thanks, Eddie.
Yeah. So talking about plants. See, this is what we used to have at TY Expo. You don't see that these days.
No. Right? I think we should have nurseries where we can go to get clones. Like, why can't we have that?
Oh, I completely
let's grow
agree.
4 plants. Why can't you go to a nursery and get four plants?
Yeah. Well, I have talked to some nursery people, and it's the one fellow I talked to earlier this spring. He said that it's like for them to get the clones in the stores, that's a tough thing, and he was actually doing pop-ups, and because people can't buy directly from him,
right? But they can buy from the store.
Patients can. You give them your number, show that you're a patient. He can sell your clones. But the stores, and the grow up in Toronto a week and a half ago there. And I had an interview with the president and co-founder of the Grow Up, and I talked with him about one of the seminar rooms, and it was the clone and seed exchange. And I said, "Hey, I didn't get to get in there, but tell me about this, right?" And it's sort of one of those things to push to try to maybe make some changes somewhere.
Well, can the licensed producers exchange seeds and clones between themselves?
What's that?
Can the licensed producers exchange clones and seeds? So they can amongst themselves, right?
Yeah.
But they can't sell them to the general population so they can grow them. That just seems silly.
Yeah, I know, I know exactly. You can buy seeds from the licensed stores.
You know what? I've got seeds that will not pop. I'm just not having any luck this year. And I guess I'm just not meant to grow any pot this year. My peas are growing really well. I got some peas, but no pot.
Okay, talking about glass blowing. There we go there. Got some stuff up here on the screen. Look at that dragon.
Yeah, there's some pretty unique stuff out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
I remember buying off on a motorcycle, a hand-blown motorcycle. I think we probably still have it somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Tucked away.
Yeah, these pictures would be part of a glass blowing contest during the expo. And it had teams from around the world. Team from Japan, team from Canada, the US.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And
that was really fun to actually watch that too.
Yes. The A team. That must have been the Canadian one. The A team. Yeah, you can see how the torch.
There was a lot of booths that were because there was a lot of booths too, like a lot of distributors there too, like KDK distribution was there, and a lot of the smaller glass blowing companies were there too. But that contest was right in the middle, like where you could see everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I loved how we had the consumption lounge too, where they had all the sublimator.
Yeah.
In the back, right? You had to have go through the
4,600 square foot vapor lounge.
Yeah.
I've got 500 pictures in this photo album. So there's a lot.
I think the funniest moment for me when we were there, me and Debbie were sitting in there, just chatting away, smoking. We were rolling up a joint because we were going to go out the back. She had to go out the back patio there to smoke joints. She couldn't smoke the joints in the building. And this old gray-haired guy sits down, takes off his suit coat, and sits down. He goes, "Hi, I'm John Conroy." Grabs a bong, starts packing at me, and Debbie just started laughing. "Hi, John!" Like it was just I think that was probably one of the most epic moments of the whole, just because he looks so professional, great beard, and comes
Yeah.
walking across, takes off his suit coat, sits down. Hi, I'm John Conroy. Oh, it's funny.
See the banners there?
Yeah, absolutely.
The stand-up
I
banners?
remember talking to you at that booth.
Well, you see what's behind me? Those two
Yeah,
stand-up banners.
exactly right. Yeah, I still
Yeah,
have a couple of my old banners too.
still being used.
I think the saddest part is a lot of my stuff was downstairs, and then my basement
Yeah.
flooded.
Well,
Right.
there's another
So my
picture.
basement flooded last Christmas, and then everything was
Look at
downstairs. So I don't have anything left. I remember that too.
paradise seeds. One
Yeah.
of their plants, and these are real plants, people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
These aren't these aren't fake plants. These
No.
are real plants.
Yeah. Yep, they sure were. I remember Green Planet too. The first year that I was there, Jason Wilcox was in their booth. Was it Green Planet
Yeah.
and John Burfellow? Yeah, where they were handing out seeds that year too. And BC Bud Depot was handing out seeds that year. I still have some of those BC Bud Depot seeds, I think, somewhere.
There's another plant. This full bloom.
Right.
Nice. But now that cannabis is legal, that's not allowed.
Right, because you're not allowed to show it in public.
Yes, exactly. It's interesting to see some of the
But I did mention to you last time, I think last show, that I pulled up in front of my cannabis store that I frequent, and they took the whatever blinds off. You can look right into the stores now.
Yes.
They don't have to be behind shaded glass or tinted windows or anything anymore.
No, yeah, that's what they've changed in your province, right?
I thought that was odd. They made such a stink about it. They made such a big deal about it, right?
Well, yeah, it's stupid. Like, it's a plant. It's a leaf. What other leaf do we prevent children from seeing?
None. We don't prevent them from seeing much of anything anymore.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Well, look at the kids these days got cell phones, so they got data they can surf.
We got 13-year-olds dying of fentanyl overdoses out here. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
No.
They should be learning glass blowing like these guys.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, it's this is far better for you. You can learn in a hobby where you can actually do something cool.
Yeah.
Or make something new, and actually maybe make some money off of it too. There's plus win-win for all of it.
The thing is, I've got there's over 500 photos in this.
Oh, I bet.
And it's just huge. And I was talking to Dave about, I said I've seen marbles and things that had little towns inside them.
Right.
Yeah. And it's holy Christ, where do people put, how do they get all that stuff in there?
I don't know, that's, and even the way they make the little figurines. How Redbeard makes little ducks and little cows and the goats and stuff. And I often wonder, but I remember as a kid watching the glass blowers in the mall. Remember they'd make the little swans and all those little cute little intricate little animals all made of glass and mold. And I couldn't understand how they did that too from a stick. And and it's the same thing, only they blow them and make it, and so you can, vase. They're just, it's quite a talent. You have to be.
Oh yeah, it is. It is.
But yeah, I was always enthralled with, like I said, from the time I was a kid, watching them in the mall. They would come in the mall at Christmas time and blow glass right in front of you. You could buy these little creatures like animals, and
And watching a torch isn't always the best thing for your eyes.
No, that's why they wear goggles, right?
Yeah, and I had my camera with my zoom lens and all that, on the front of it and zooming right in there.
Oh
and even that was.
You can get a flash, you have to be careful, yeah. But those were awesome pictures. I know you have some great pictures from TY.
Oh, I really enjoyed those days.
Yeah.
Now, since we're talking hash, Before we go to break, we got 5 minutes. I did some testing. Like, I don't need any cannabis, but every once in a while, I like to test things. I go down to Legacy 420 when I'm down there and I see something I like to, so maybe try that. It's something different, right?
Right.
So, I went into buddy's store to pick up I got the apple there. And then I had asked him about hash. I told him I had seen something to do with hash joints. Like I could take some hash that I took off of like one particular year. I trimmed a bunch of cannabis in an electric trimmer, and the paddles was just covered in hash.
Oh yeah, and then you flatten it out. No,
I could just roll it up and just smoke it.
Oh, you got one of those cones with a little black filter on the end that's glass.
Yeah.
I have one of those too. I had one of those in that package that I won from the 420. That's where I saw. Isn't that great, Al? Aren't those great? The only thing is I forgot to put it out and mine burnt away on me. Like a dumbass.
Oh no.
Yeah, because you have to put it out, right? And I didn't realize that. So it burnt away.
Well,
I can't. I haven't even looked.
I didn't put it out. I kept.
You just kept smoking it.
Yeah. Friend and I were. I didn't smoke it by myself. There it is. Okay. Let me just. I've got it here. There you can see it on my pants, and that's it's just a hash joint.
Yep. They are so cool. They're terrific, and they just come rolled up, and you just stick them in that little black thing, which is so handy as a little filter, right? Yeah, I've tried one. They are awesome.
Almost 25 minutes to smoke it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Alvin and I smoked on it for quite a long time, like before we tapped on it, and I just put it in the ashtray, not even thinking. Right, I just figured it'd go out because joints usually just go out, right?
Right.
And it just and then I looked over and went, oh shit, and it was down to this much left of the filter, and you can't reuse that filter once it's out. And it was. And I haven't been able to get my hands on another one. They haven't brought any more in.
Oh. I tried to knock the ash off of it, and it obviously still had a core because the joint started to crack.
Yeah.
Right.
And you have to roll it.
You
have to roll it like a hash joint, right?
Yeah. It looks like a leaf,
Is there something in the middle of it?
Well, it's as if I don't know if it's got a hash core in it.
Mine didn't have anything
or
in it.
It's hash that's been rolled, like pressed.
It's been pressed and laid flat, I think, and then rolled into a little cone.
And then rolled into crack.
Yeah.
That's the way I looked at it.
I don't think there's any leaf in it. I think it's just straight hash.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, because mine broke in half. Like it broke too. Like it kind of broke because it was crumbled. Yeah, right. But it was good. Like right at the very beginning.
Just cracked just a little bit, and I didn't touch it, and I just kept smoking it.
Yep.
And it just. Next thing I looked at it, eventually there was a crack in the ash where it was in the hash.
Yeah.
Prior to that.
Right? It just kind of rolled. I kept on rolling on through. It didn't care. It burned.
It burned. Yeah.
No. Yeah, those are really cool.
We probably waited 15 minutes, and then we lit up the apple.
Oh. We hadn't had enough, but that we want some more. Well, it sounds like you had a hashy afternoon.
Hashy afternoon. That's right. Well, some people call it the hash bowl, because it's a hash bowl, right? An apple, hash apple.
A hash bowl. A hash bowl. A
something like that.
It could be a happle. That's what it is. It's a happle. HAPPL.
Happle. Yeah, that's
Yep.
what it says.
Yep, apple. Okay, then
See the little box, eh?
those are cute. Like I said, those are awesome. Like I said, my hash is like it's blonde hash, so it's not rollable. Or I can't roll it into a snake like that. It's not black. It's crumble. But it's
Yes.
very nice. Like, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with it.
Let's see. Top of the hour. Time for us to head for break. Go for a commercial. When we get back, I've got some information. In our last show, we had some questions about we're trying to deal with the expert panels, recommendations, and then Health Canada came out with some stuff, and we're trying to figure out this packaging thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, I saw a lawyer post some information about how things could change. So we're going to review that when we come back from the commercial break.
Sounds good.
You're watching the Pace Radio Show. We're live here at paceradio.net.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Limestone City Hydroponics is Kingston, Ontario's hydroponics shop. Take your growing to the next level and create the optimal environment with a tent kit, or maximize your yield with an ebb and flow flood table kit. Either way, Limestone City Hydroponics has more sizes and options to fit your needs. Are you looking for the power of the sun that adapts to your budget? Then look no further, as they have professional grow lighting. They have indoor grow systems that are easy and cost effective, with many options to fit your living space and lifestyle. Cultivate your growing potential. We have everything you need to succeed. And if you can't make it to the store, they offer local delivery to the greater Kingston area. Remember, when you're looking for experts to help you grow, then look no further than the locally owned Limestone City Hydroponics, 105 Sunderland Drive in Kingston, Ontario. Call them at 613-548-0420.
Are you looking to get your medical cannabis grow license? Limestone City Hydroponics can help patients through the process of obtaining their license to grow medical cannabis. What's that? You don't have a doctor. If you meet the medical criteria, Limestone City Hydroponics has a nurse practitioner who can assess and provide medical cannabis prescriptions. What are you waiting for? Contact Limestone City Hydroponics at limestonecityhydroponics.ca or call them at 613-548-0420.
What do you find at paceradio.net? People advocating cannabis education.
Enjoy the buzz of legalization with Campbellford Lifestyle Shop. From lights to plant nutrients, books, consumption accessories, and more. We've got all your basics to grow or consume cannabis. Visit our info center or take a look at our piercing services and body jewelry, now available in-store through Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, 17 Bridge Street West, Campbellford.
Cannabis edibles are an effective way to manage pain and other ailments, especially when you deal with your trusted partner, Legacy 420, in Tyendinaga Mohawk territory. You see, we lab test every product on site to ensure proper dosage every time, which is critical when consuming cannabis edibles. All Legacy 420 edibles are made by our classically trained baker and chocolatier, and we also have super tasty vegan options.
Our baker has been in the industry for 25 years. She's also a chocolatier. Everything from savory to sweet, your chocolate bars, brownies, butter tarts, you name it, we make it.
Talk to our knowledgeable Cannatex about our incredible variety available. Give your trusted partners a call. Legacy 420 out on your road.
You're listening to the Pace Radio Network here at paceradio.net.
Hey, you're back. We're back. We're live. You're watching radio show.
I've been trying to get this computer to work so we could not have to be on my phone, but apparently it's not going to happen this time.
It's not going to happen. As long as your battery lasts on your phone.
Oh, I've got it plugged in because I was already worried about that. So we're all good on that point of it. I just have to get myself resituated here. Now we go. There we go. But yeah, like I've been trying to, because it's just, annoying to have my phone because it's so little. At least it's not that flip phone anymore, so like I'm cut in the middle.
Yeah, you know, sometimes people's heads get cut off. We can see all of your head there. So
right.
It's okay. So before the break, I mentioned the changes in the regulations that were printed in the Gazette, talking about the changes in cannabis legalization. Harrison Jordan, he's a lawyer, cannabis trusted. It says a trusted cannabis and regulated substances industry lawyer and advisor is what his title says here on LinkedIn, and I'm going to bring it up here on the page so you can see it. Okay. As we mentioned, we didn't know what would the milligrams be allowed with the new system because they talked about inner packages and outer packages, right? And we thought, well, does that mean that's 10 milligrams for each little thing that's in that package? Can you have more than 10 milligrams in a package? Okay. This is according to Harrison. He says that the new changes mean a package of edibles could theoretically contain up to 1,350 milligrams. 1,350 milligrams.
How would that be?
I know. Now he says, but there are some caveats. But so it says, read on to learn more. Okay, so this is what he says. There's been the removal of 1 gram dry cannabis discrete unit limit means that we can see 30-gram pre-rolls. You imagine buying 30-gram joint?
No. Like, what the hell for?
now they can sell 30-gram joints. Oh, for celebrating things like 420 or something. I don't know.
I guess, but okay. I wouldn't want to spend that much money on pot. I hadn't no.
Yeah. So yeah, because I found it odd because I was buying 2-gram joints. Remo joints are 2-gram joints. And I thought, what's going on here? Well, the 2-gram joints are because they were infused joints. They're different.
Oh, yeah.
Category, okay? So here we go. The removal of 10 milligram THC limit in outermost containers means that an outermost package of an edible could contain an aggregate of up to 450 grams of edibles. Edibles can't contain more than 3% THC by weight, meaning an outermost container can have up to a staggering 13,500 milligrams of THC. He says there's a caveat, though. Each immediate container can only have up to 10 milligrams of THC. So unless you are ready to release a SKU that has 1,350 immediate containers, which must be packaged and labeled in the same manner as the outermost package, we're not going to see it. So, if someone's willing to put 10 or 15 gummies with 10 milligrams apiece into a package of an outer package, then, they can sell 150 milligram packages of gummies. That's the way that's the way I read that. Yeah, because they're doing it now. Because with capsules and oils.
Oh, I know. You can buy
1,000 milligrams, right?
Right.
And, yeah.
So you were pointing that out to me about buying the capsules because you can get more capsules. There's 25 capsules, and each one of those capsules is 10 milligrams, and you got 250 milligrams, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is saying that. Edibles can't contain more than 3%. Okay. The removal of 10 milligram limit in the outermost container. So that's the outermost container. There's no more 10 milligram limit. But means that an outermost package of edibles could contain up to 450 grams of edibles. Edibles can't contain more than 3% of THC. Gail's pointing at my little anteaters here on the computer.
Where'd you get them done?
They are from a company that I was talking to in Toronto, and they do, I can't pronounce
3D
them.
stuff.
They do testing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a little anteater. I don't know.
I know you showed me those last week.
Yeah.
Hi, Gail.
So yeah, I'm looking at it as there's a chance that people could be starting to buy more than those 10 milligram packages.
What about drinks? Would that be able to inhibit them to be
beverages are they not considered edibles?
Yeah, they are. So would that
Yeah.
be able to enhance that limit too?
I don't see. Well, see, it says each individual package, each individual unit inside that outer package has to have all the regulatory information on it, so on and so forth. So I guess you'd have to do if all that stuff is on a can, could you sell a case?
Yeah, right.
Each can's 10 milligrams. Why not sell 4 of beverages?
Right.
Yes,
because I know there was a limit of 4. I think at one time. I think they've raised that limit too, but I think you can only buy so many drinks at a time.
Yeah, they raised it
I
up.
was 3 because you could only buy 30 grams, right? So
they raised it up so you at that point, so you could buy a 2-liter bottle instead of
or something. But you're pretty limited on what you can buy, like even drink. Like, sorry, you can only buy 2 of those.
Yeah. Now he says here that the ability for producers to use denatured ethyl alcohol in inhalable cannabis extracts.
What?
Yeah, it means he says it means we may see inhalers and puffers and vapes similar to existing nicotine vapes that don't require a heat source.
We already have those.
Yeah.
Well, no, we really don't, actually.
Well, see, because they're battery eyes. I'm thinking, he's talking about the ones that but they got disposable ones that just light up that have a battery.
But they have a battery in them too. They've still got a heat source in them because that battery is what heats up the bottom of this here, which where's my camera? And this is where the heat source has to be, right? And then it comes from the inside of this battery. Because this is a pod, like this is cannabis.
Right.
But it's a pod, and it goes in this thing. This pod it's a general admission one, right?
Yep.
But it still has to have a heat source. Like this is still a battery.
Yeah. Okay. Now he also says that transparent packages and cutout windows means we'll see some great packaging being done, and it's gonna matter now more than ever whether the dried flower has bag appeal. So basically now what you're going to be able to do as the new packagings come into the marketplace.
Yeah, it's like looking at a bag.
You'll be able to look at those buds before you even pay for them.
Right.
Yeah. So that's a good
that will be better. That'll be better.
Yeah.
Okay. You never could like now you have to just take your chances.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't, like I said, I don't buy too much cannabis.
No, I do. I'm there once a week at least. I bought some today. Actually, it's Pink Kush from what is it? Prairie Sun Farms. Sun Farms.
You're not looking at any of the buds.
No, it came in a pink package. It said Pink Kush, so it looked like it was pink, and I figured I'd try it, right? But it was Sun Farms. I've had their cannabis before. They just changed from a green package to a pink package, so I figured I hadn't smoked it for a while. Give it a try. It was pretty good before, and yeah, I actually was pretty impressed with the taste, the terpenes, the whole. I'm tired already, but I could literally I could go to sleep. And that never happens. Like I'm never that tired. But so obviously I got, maybe a little bit high school high.
Okay. He's got one more thing here. I'm just trying to see exactly what it says. Yeah. that one I wasn't sure what always was making sense on that. But yeah, those are some of the things that. So that answers the question on the 10 milligrams per container.
Right.
So
Well, I know
yeah,
even like the limits of like the THC, like we're buying THC at 33%. And they said
right.
they were going to top it out at 30%. We couldn't get any higher than 30%, yet we're buying packages that says 33% on it.
Oh yeah. Well,
So
I still read reports about improper labeling
I don't even look at the percentage of THC so much
and
as I look at the
lab
terpenes, right? And what the
lab.
terpenes say. And like I said, I
Yep.
kind of go for I'm an indica. I usually stick with my indica and I go with Kushes. If I can find Kush, I will go with that. I like Kushes, right?
I have a friend that loves mint Kush
Mm-hmm.
mint or something.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah,
does.
I just had some of that too I was actually surprised it's grown by Tweed.
Yeah. So was I when I because she was telling me about it, and
Yeah.
then she showed me the
Actually, I
pack.
just had that. I think I still have a couple buds of that. Actually, I was quite surprised too. But the girl at the store said, "Oh, this one's that people are really liking it." And I looked at it, went Tweed. Yeah, god damn, I hate giving them out. Okay, I'll try it. And it was decent. Another decent provider too, I find, is Spinach. It's
Oh, yeah.
another one that has been not too bad. General Admission again is another really great provider. There's a couple other ones I can't remember the name of. I go with Mountain Rocky Mountain Farms too. They're a local microcrop
Right.
here in British Columbia because they go through all day is their labeling. It's called all day, and they usually only sell like 7 grams. They don't go any higher than 7 grams.
Yeah. A lot of those names I only know them maybe because I saw them at an event.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's so many of them. Like seriously, every time you walk into the store, there's always something new. Always.
Yeah, which is nice.
But we've also lost at least one store here in town is shut down.
Wow, is it?
Yeah. So we were down. Yeah, I'm not sure. And the other one's changed hands once already too. So, like I said, only the strongest will survive in this.
Well, yeah. Well, it's the same as if there was 20 restaurants, right?
Oh, there is.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
You can't drive
But if
past.
there's too many, but the idea, the thought is, if there's too many restaurants to deal with the population that's using them, then they're going to close.
I don't even know how we sustain as many restaurants as we do in this town. There's probably 300 restaurants in this town. Never mind 20.
Well, I know of a town that had 3 cannabis stores, and people were complaining about the 3 cannabis stores, but yet within the distance of the 3 within walking distance of the main lights in town, you could walk to there's at least 15 places you could buy alcohol.
Oh, there is 2 that shut down because one was beside the liquor store. One liquor store too. At one time, we had more pot stores than we had liquor stores, and now we still have more pot stores than we have liquor stores. Yeah, because you can't have private liquor stores. Well, they say you can't have private liquor stores in British Columbia. Yet we've got 2. One's attached to the hotel. Well, I guess we got 3. We got a drive-through one. We got a liquor warehouse, and then we got the
drive-through liquor store.
Yeah. A drive-through liquor store. You can drive through and pick up. Yeah. Yes.
Well, we should need a drive-through cannabis store.
I wouldn't be surprised if on the other side where Prime Cannabis is, because it's right like next to the hotel that has the drive-through, that they don't. They might. I've never been there.
Would there be any regulations against it that you can think?
I don't think there. Why would there be? I don't think so. I have to check into that. We'd have to check into that. I can't say for sure.
Because you can still check the persons for ID.
They do at the drive-through liquor store. You pull up. They have to still.
Well, okay. This is the same question with that you would have to deal with both substances, with alcohol and the cannabis drive-through.
Impairment.
Well, I'm looking at it as access to the driver. Both of them have laws against access to the driver. Where would the driver be putting it
They put it right to next to them on the passenger seat and drive away. They do. I've done it. I've gone to the King Eddie, driven up, got my case of beer, thrown on the passenger seat, and driven away. Nobody says nothing. It's like, bye, have a nice day. Even when I go to the cannabis store, I walk. You want a bag? No, it's okay. I walk away in my hand, throw it on my front seat, drive away.
Right. But you gotta walk up to your vehicle and you could open your trunk or whatever. And
I could.
Yeah, because the OPP here have skunk in the trunk as their thing, right?
The cops here just don't give a shit. Like, that's the thing. Like, I guess the OPP make a bigger deal about cannabis than the RCMP do out here because nobody cares. Maybe it's because we're in British Columbia and it's just kind of been a lifestyle out here forever. But the cops don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, we've had several charges out here of cannabis being accessible to the driver. That's probably the most popular charge.
Then they've been pulled over for something else. The pot must have been visible to the cop because I don't think that they're out looking for it.
Oh, no, I don't think they're looking for it. But if you get stopped in a ride program and it's sitting there, you know, it's just like if you got stopped in a ride program and that 2-4 that you just bought at the liquor store.
You're going to get nailed for that.
Passenger seat, yeah.
You know what I did? I here. Oh my God! I remember when I was pregnant with Taven, I was coming back from Lethbridge with an ounce of weed laying on my front seat underneath my purse, like just laying there underneath a coat, and had to go through a check stop. And all I could smell was pot.
Oh.
And that was long before legalization, and I didn't have a license then. I got through it. I don't know how, but I did. I got home and holy fuck. Maybe it's because I was pregnant, but holy fuck.
I almost had him on the spot.
Jesus Christ. I had 2 ounces actually on the front seat of the car.
Right.
Just dumb.
Yeah. And being separate, it would have been trafficking.
Oh, fuck. And of course, who knows what they was Tabor cops too. Like, fuck, they nailed me for 4 grams. I'll never mind 2 ounces. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I thought they would have thrown away the key. I'd been in jail still probably now. Right. Woman has cannabis. Let the murderer go, but she's got to go to bed. Yeah.
I got a bigger one.
Those are cool. What's that?
It's a bigger one.
Okay, so what are those used for again?
It's an anteater, and they are the symbol of a company.
Right.
That I spoke to in Toronto.
So that's their mascot then.
That's their mascot, correct?
I gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I can't find the.
Is it a hedgehog or an anteater?
What's that?
Is it a hedgehog or an anteater?
Anteater.
Cool.
Antica or something like that is the name of the company, but I can't remember.
And what do they do?
They test cannabis.
Gotcha.
They tested it right on the spot there for me.
And how do they do that? Do they have a machine? Do they use liquid? Like, how do they do that?
They put it in a liquid, and there was shaking involved, and it was put onto some machine that does some spiral thing or something, and then they
a bunch of hocus pocus and stuff,
and then there's some wires that get plugged into electrodes that are in the bottom of the tube that your cannabis is in, and then the computer does an analysis of the fluid, determine what your cannabis is. Now I don't have anything to compare it to. I had a strain that I had something to compare it to, and I went back to get a second strain tested, and I've already had it tested 3 times, and so I wanted to do it again, but unfortunately the lounge was closed temporarily, but for me it was closed for the rest of the day because I had other stuff that I had to be to.
Right.
And I couldn't get in there to do the interview with them. So
right.
I did a short interview, which I will be releasing. I've taken all the interviews, 25 interviews and discussions things from the grow up, and I'm going to be releasing them as singles. So, people will be able to hear those without having to listen to an hour long broadcast. Yeah. Sort of bring those ones that are towards the end of the broadcast and bring them out so people can, hear them. Because, an hour and a half broadcast, not everybody sits there for an hour and a half, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, people come and go. It's no different than you watch TV. People get up. That's why the commercials are louder, so they can be heard.
He can run.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, no, it's one of those things. But it's good that you have the opportunity to go and see that, because and like I said last time, it's good that we're seeing more and more of this happening with legalization, because we had them before. But even when we were at TY, we were kind of always looking over our shoulder, right?
Yeah. Well, the cannabis was still illegal then,
right? And like we were always kind of like, I wonder if the cops are going to come raid this place. And we're all hanging out on the balcony, and you could see the Toronto cops kind of like kind of milling around down around the building, right? Because there was smoke billowing off that back balcony.
Oh, there was a whole pile of us out there. There was a huge fire regulations violation going on,
right? And like, and I'm pretty sure that Marco got in shit for us all standing out there smoking cannabis, because we were told we could go out there. It was for tobacco, right? Because we were smokers. Well, everybody was smoking. But like I said, there was like just billowing out of there, right? So like I said, it kind of like I don't think I was really too worried about it, but you kind of like the back of your head's going, because my husband said to me as he put me on the plane, I guess Fiona drove me that year, because I can't remember, it was Ottawa. That was Ottawa that we had to go in the blizzard. That was Fiona that drove me to that for that trip. I think Alvin drove me to the airport, and he put me on the plane. He says, "Whatever you do, don't get yourself arrested."
Yeah. I got an update for you as well. It's on that new stuff. I was been doing some messaging, and working on getting. I showed you this package, the odorless cannabis.
Yes, you did. Did you try that?
No, I haven't.
Where can I try and get that here, do you think? Or is it not out in the market? Is it on the market yet? Like, is it available on the market, or is it just something that you got from the convention, or?
There was no sample in it.
What? So maybe that's why it's odorless cannabis, because there's nothing in there. That makes sense. Here's your odorless cannabis. It's an empty package.
Well,
welcome to our company.
This is I got the business card, and so I've been talking with the founder of the company.
What was supposed to be in there?
Well, there was the card. There's a brochure.
In that package that says odorless cannabis?
Correct.
That's a hook.
It says no additives, no chemicals, no GMO. It's earth friendly. It's a natural process. It's GMP compliant.
Where's the weed, dude?
And then there was a chip.
That's a hook. What a hook. What are they? Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So I saw this picture right there. So I was thinking that there was at least a joint in here, but there was nothing.
Right.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Yeah. So I had a friend that went to the same event. Look at that. Didn't even open it right. I ripped it.
Pretty hard not to.
See?
It's easy to do. Yeah. It's super easy because they're so hard. It's like, what kind of crap is that? I'm trying to get in bag.
In a future show, I'm hoping that we're going to find out about more of that.
So did the friend have something in the bag other than what you had in the bag?
No.
So there's still no cannabis in the bag?
No, correct.
In the sample bag. The sample bag really isn't a sample. It's a propaganda hook. Here's what our stuff could be like. Now you buy it and see. We're not going to let you try it.
They could end up. We could end up with them on the show.
I would end up with that in the garbage.
Well, there's no cannabis. There's no cannabis in it, so that's in the end. Yeah. I got a few things around here that I do have to clean up.
Well, I just find it awfully weird that you wouldn't put your sample or your product in a sample.
Yeah, and that,
whatever their deal is, right? Like I'm not knocking them, but it just seems odd.
Let me just.
Why waste that packaging on a brochure?
Okay, I'm gonna pull up their website.
Like, is it a filter? Is it I don't know.
I can tell you, it's been 8 years in research.
Oh yeah.
That's what he's.
What strain is it? What's the THC levels in it? Like, what are the terpenes?
Levels are over 30%. I think.
Are there terpenes? Like, if it's odorless, then it would be terpeneless. No.
Well, that's what I wondered.
So, what are the terpenes on the packaging? Like,
there's no. Okay.
God, my hair's a mess.
Yeah. I'm surprised at this. They said they did a survey and they said, did you know that 51% of the people dislike cannabis smell? I actually
because of the smell, yeah.
I thought it would be higher than that.
I would think that would be higher too, because I know that was my only thing that ever gave it away. The only people ever knew that you were smoking weed is because I could smell it. Because I couldn't tell you were high because don't really, some people don't show that they've smoked weed. I don't. I said that to my mom one time. I just smoked a joint. Can you tell? She's like, no, because you can't smell it. Like,
yeah.
But that's I think that's a big thing. People smell it, think it smells like a skunk, and sometimes there are strains that smell exactly like a skunk. Smells like cat piss. There's some that are really rank smelling, that are really unpleasant, right? So I get that.
Yeah, full spectrum flower, natural process, no chemicals. Yeah.
What spectrum? Okay, full spectrum. But what strain? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we were all
right.
Well, like, is it Pink Kush? Is it OG Kush? Is it Mint Kush? Is it Grey Goose? Like, what the fuck is it?
They may not. They may not have any on the market yet because I'm not. Yeah, they started in January 2014. I'm not seeing any products listed at their website.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see what they've got press releases. Real estate industry endorses odorless cannabis. 41% THC. They said that did this back in November of 2021. Yeah, I'm not seeing any strain names.
Are you seeing any pictures of any plants?
Well, here, let me just see if this. Yeah, I'll just bring it up. I know, right? This is it's different. Like people said to me since I've been telling them about this. They said, "Gee, it got me a lot of trouble to smell. If I knew about this stuff, I wouldn't have gotten in trouble."
Right.
There's a picture.
Well, that it looks like those look like plants.
Yeah. It got a 40.59% THC rating. Cannabinoid count of 40.59 with a THC rating of 35%.
You don't see any terpenes in there.
Let me know if you hear the cats, okay?
Oh, I heard him. I heard somebody.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just looking for the word terpenes. Yeah. I'm not seeing anything.
So in other words, it's tasteless, smellless.
I'm trying. I'll have to take a look at the interview that I did with him out on the
that'd be
floor to see if
interesting. I'd be interested to give it a whirl.
If it didn't have any terpenes, then that means it was GMO'd. But they say it's not GMO. Because like, how do if I would look at it as if you remove,
it would have to genetically modify it if it doesn't have any term, right? And if it has 41% THC, it's definitely a hybrid. And if it's a hybrid of any kind, like everything we smoke, whether you want to believe it or not, is a GMO, because whether you're doing it or somebody else is doing it, as soon as you start fucking with fucking genetics, you're genetically modifying a plant. So anything that's hybrid is GMO'd. Like it's whether you do it, whether some mad scientist somewhere else does it. If you're mixing two strains together, you're fucking with the genetics, right?
Well,
the genetically modified.
You're creating a new one. But I look at GMOs when they actually go in there and they can remove things, so it actually modifies.
No, but when you're cloning, when you're crossbreeding, that's genetically modifying. Whether you look at it like that or not, it is.
Yeah. I don't quite look at it that way, but I understand what you're looking at, what you're saying, because it's no. I guess trying to think like.
Why don't you think that they're going in and chemically removing?
You take a male and a female human, and you produce children out of them.
You're genetically modifying. They got different DNA. They're genetically modified.
It's just new.
It's just not zapped with. It's just not zapped with radiation like everybody thinks. I don't know. Like I don't eat anything, so it doesn't matter if it's GMO'd or not. It's not chocolate covered. I don't eat it.
I'm going to say that they don't have anything out yet.
That doesn't sound like it. Yeah. Unfortunately, that would be interesting. It's like I said, at 41%, but with no terpenes, it would be interesting. But I said, people don't want to smell it, but no smell means no taste.
Yeah, and that would explain why there wasn't a doobie in the package.
Oh yeah, but they don't have any production.
Any mass.
Well, it's really hard to get. Like once you get past R&D, like if they're trying to push this past Health Canada with a 41% THC level, they might not get out of R&D for a while.
Yeah.
But I think there is limits once you get into production, and then you get into your actual licensing to sell. Right? There's like so many steps to this fucking process.
There is.
Just ridiculous, but
yeah, exactly. All right. Well, other than that, anything else you got to say?
No. There's Women's March, but I'll be on again before then. But yeah, Women's March the 24th of June. Other than that, it is Pride Month, and it is an Indigenous History Month, as well as Men's Mental Health Month, as well as we should all teach our boys to keep and teach each other to keep our hands to ourselves. Like it's not a woman thing, it's not a man thing, because domestic violence goes both ways. There are women that are abusive, and your words can be abusive. And mental health means your psyche. So take it, try and be kind to each other. Be kinder to each other, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. All right. We will see you all next week. Other than that, find us on Twitter. We're on Instagram. I haven't used a lot of Instagram, actually.
I did my show on TikTok, too. I just ran it at the same time I was doing Mondays. So they let me, but they restricted it because the word said the word cannabis.
Oh.
And TikTok does not like
saying those bad words.
Restriction. Oh, it just means I have to have, 19 and over.
Well, did they say anything about weed? Is weed a 4-letter word that they've restricted?
Yeah, weed, cannabis, anything having to do with drugs of any kind, whether it doesn't matter.
Wow,
you can't be smoking even tobacco on it. They'll restrict you on that too.
Smoking even tobacco on it.
Vapes, anything. They don't want you smoking or anything.
All right.
It's like that on a few apps actually.
Yeah. All right. Other than that, thanks to our sponsors, Legacy420.com, Campbellford Lifestyle Shop, and Limestone City Hydroponics.ca. Plus, a big thank you for everybody for tuning in, and we will see you next week. Thank you, and good night.
Night.
Let's share PACE everywhere. That way it can help create peace. People everywhere advocating cannabis education. You're listening to the PACE Radio Network here at paceradio.net.